Hi guys, welcome back. Today is an exciting day. We're going to be doing some bottling, so we're going to take a look at all the things we need for today and the process for doing that, and we'll get going. Bottles. I collect wine bottles after we bought from the store, and that gives me a lot of my supply. You can always buy empties off of the internet, of course, or your local brew store. But I got a couple different kinds here. We got some larger 1.5 liter and the smaller 750 milliliter bottles. Those I'm going to put my Cabernet in. And then we have bottles for the sangria. So these are a great bottle to use if you don't like to cork wine bottles. Basically a flip top. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. There you go. And that just comes off. It's got a rubber seal on the top. You can buy these empty, or you can do what I did. I found a wine company that sells their wine in the flip top, and I just bought a whole bunch of it, well, over quite a bit of time, but you know, I like the wine that's in it too, so you know, drink the wine, save the bottle. And you know, with the flip tops, you just gotta make sure you clean those rubber seals out and make sure they're sanitized real well. But you know, it's going to save you an extra step to corking these, and I'll show you how the corking process goes. But we got our bucket for making our one-step solution. Of course, I got some Star Sand, a little bit of tubing we'll need. We'll need a bottle filler. Again, this is something you can buy with a kit, or you can buy separately, however you want to get started going in winemaking. But it's got a spring-loaded top, right? So like that, doesn't let any liquid through. Lets liquid through when depressed. So you stick it down into the bottle, fills up the bottle, let go. Great thing about this is when you stick it into the bottle, it takes up a certain amount of space in the bottle, right? So you fill it all the way to the top. When you pull it out, that space the wand took up gives you your headroom for a cork, which I think it's about 1.5 inches. Obviously with the flip tops you don't need that. We'll fill those up pretty much. I'll show you a little trick on how to do that as well, but you know, you kind of just tilt this to the side of the top and depress it slightly, and it fills it higher up. So we got that. We'll have some corks. I like rubber corks. I do not like real corks when I'm doing my wine. I really don't even like buying wine with real corks in it. They just break apart and you get little pieces of cork in your wine, but some people like it. You got to get the right size for your bottles. They come several different sizes, but I think I buy the, I don't know what this says on here, size 9, which is the bigger one. The bigger opening in your bottles. Some wine bottles have smaller openings, and you got to put the smaller ones in. Otherwise your cork will just shoot right out from the pressure on them. But anyways, we have a corker device, this little pressy-do deal. We'll show you how to use that. This is a bottle washer. It's just got a spring-loaded pump thing in it, and we'll show you how that goes together and use that. Obviously, you know, one step there, but alright, so first thing we're going to do is get our bottles rinsed out with the one step, and then we'll let them sit for a bit, and then we'll get set up to start pouring, and yeah, we'll get going. Alright, got the one step mixed up. We're just going to take our necessary number of wine corks per bottle. We're just going to cover those in some of the one step, slosh them around, they'll float. That's pretty good. Alright. Just make sure they're getting wet, but we'll set those aside. Alright, next we're going to put together our bottle washer. So this thing is just spring activated, kind of works like a siphon and sucks the cleaner up into the spout right here. Spring. There's a little ball down in there that keeps that suction going. I'll filter on the bottom. Squeeze this together and rotate. Okay. And I dropped my cane. Alright, so that just snaps down into this base. Again, this is something you can pick up. Not necessarily needed. You could just hold your bottle under these and dump some in and pour them out. This makes it a little bit quicker. I'll show you that here in a second. Just gotta make sure this is pushed down in here nice and tight. We're just gonna fill that up about halfway. The water, the one-step cleaner gets in there real good. Cleaning solution. Oh, that's pretty good. We'll set this over here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to put my tube in here. Get that ready to soak. In my wand. Some spritzes. Get some spritzes around. There's nothing lingering. Okay. So we got all that prepped. Now the tedious process of cleaning bottles. Least favorite part of this, but we just put our bottle over the top. And with this, you got to get the siphon going, so it might take you a few hundred, maybe 1,000 pumps here. I'm being funny, of course, but I think that was about 20 to get it going. But I don't know if you can see that. Probably you can't pick it up in the camera, but it's shooting a stream of the cleaning solution up to the top, and then it hits the top and then disperses along the inside all around the bottle. So I like to do about, I don't know, 4 presses. Let it drain out, and then kind of just dip the top down in there. I'll do one more to show you. I don't know if any of these are better for showing. You can see that or not. I'm being a little excessive here with showing on the camera, but it's pretty much the gist of it. Once they've sat, the bottles have sat for about 10 minutes while you're doing other things. A lot of the solution will run down to the bottom. You'll just want to tip those out and get that stuff out the bottom. Now, it won't hurt your wine at all, but you know, why put it in there if you don't have to? So, just a tip. Alright, so I'm going to run through, get the rest of these cleaned up, and then we'll start bottling the cab. After we do the cab, and then we'll go through the process with the sangria. So. Alright, so we are on day 11 now after the last step, so it's been about a month, about 30 days, give or take a few. So the wine is settled out. You'll see, or you can't see on there probably, but there's a maybe ½ inch, ¼ inch of sediment left at the bottom. The wine is very clear now. And all this will stay down here when we bottle. Maybe the last bottle that we fill when we tip to get the rest out might be a little cloudy. That's okay. You know, we just won't seal it out. We'll just drink it right away. How about that? So I'll get that set up. We're going to put a tube on here with the wand, and then we're ready to start bottling. Alright, so I got my wand on one end of the tube. The other part of the tube will just come up in here. You'll want to keep your one end from touching anything, obviously. Keep it sanitized, you know, just in the bottle and out of the bottle. But again, to relieve pressure, we're going to pop the top on the carboy and then we'll get going. Let's see, I got my trusty headlamp on here because I'm in a dark cellar, and so it makes it easier to see in dark bottles when I'm filling, but just so you guys know why I'm wearing that. And maybe help out with the viewing process here as I'm filling. I don't know. You guys probably can't see anything. Just know I'm filling the bottles, okay? Wunderbar. Alright, as you can see there, had to grab another bottle. Apparently my math is horrible. So, and then I had one cup also to add to that. So, well, that's why I always keep a few bottles at hand. You know, if you got to fill one up, we'll just drink that one right away because it wasn't sanitized. And yeah, should be a good night then. Alright, we'll bring you back when we go to cork. Okay, should be in a little bit. Okay, so our corks have been soaking in here in a little tub. We'll just start putting the corks in. Sanitize your corking device before using, of course. But, with this one, it's like a little loader. Just put your cork right in the top of that, down in the little chute. Get a good grip on the bottle. Press firmly down. Takes a little muscle to get that one in there, but see that where it pressed down in the top, there's a little indentation. These rubber corks, that should come out. Even if it doesn't, who cares, right? But you know, your cork bottles, that might be in there for good. So we'll cork them up, and then we'll let them sit for a little while. I want to see if any of the corks start coming out. If they do, we'll press them back in there, and then we're going to heat shrink the tops of them to keep the cork in there real good, and also make it look a little, you know, more classy. And I just got some blank labels. We'll slap a label on there and put what it is and the date, and we'll go from there. So let's get corking. Here's an example of one that didn't go in there very well. I was going to throw away this bottle, but I kind of like that little design on it. I don't know. We'll wash this one. That cork might come up out of there. If we do, we'll just we'll drink that one right away. Or you can get a stopper. You know, put it in your fridge. It should be good. You know, drink it within a week. You want to put your friends to the test when you're making wine. Leave the labels on your bottles. This is a cab. Yeah, leave the label on there, and then we'll put a seal on it. They won't even know you made it at home. Give it to them. See if they like it. Who am I kidding? I'm going to drink all this. Alright, so that's it. We'll set those aside. Again, we're going to wash the tops to make sure that the corks don't pop out on. This one looks like it's holding. And then we'll shrink wrap them and label them up. I'll get the sangria bottles sanitized, and then we'll get those filled up. And you don't have to cork those, so you just flip the top and shut them. So, alright, we'll bring it back when we're at that step. Okay, so we got the sangria all in the bottle, and again, like I said before, with the flip top, it's so much easier. This is all we're going to do. That's it. A lot less hassle than corking your bottles. So obviously these are clear bottles. Maybe you don't want to put your dark reds in it. Your fruit wines, your white wines you can put in here. I mean, you can even put your dark wines in. Store them in a dark place, and then when you take them out, drink them, you know. But it just makes life a whole lot easier. If you were to buy these on their own, they're actually quite expensive. The ones I buy with the wine in them, because it's like $7 or $8 a bottle, comes with the wine. Drink the wine, enjoy it, reuse the bottle. So a little tip there. But so next I will show you just how I label things, and then we'll do a wrap up. Okay, so for labeling your bottles, obviously if you make multiple wines, you want to know what's in each bottle, or just for the sake of knowing the date of when you made your wine, I went out and got these just blank sheets of sticky label paper, and I'll just slap them on the bottle wherever looks good. Just like that, and then I'll write the name of the type of wine and then the date. And sometimes I'll put the ABV on there if I'm feel like showing off a bit or whatever. But you know, if you have an existing label, you don't have to worry about taking that label off if you don't want. If you're not looking to be professional or make it look fancy, you just take your sticker and go right over top of it, right? Done and done. You know, obviously if you want to make your wines look a little bit more fancy, you can use the printable labels, make them look nice, clean your bottle labels off when you get used bottles. You know, various things you do. So that's pretty much what I do. I'm going to bring you back when I'm ready to heat shrink the tops of my bottles and just show you that process, and then we'll go through a wrap up. Okay, just real quick, show you how I do these. You can buy these little heat shrink caps really cheap online. I couldn't give you the cost off the top of my head, but it's pennies on the dollar. But you know, slide it onto your bottle there. Now I have a heat gun. I had one before I started even doing this, so I always was in possession of a heat gun, but I think you could just use a hair dryer and these would still shrink up. But so I'll just show you real quick how that works. Alright, so that's it. It's got a little tab here so you can pull it and then undo the top. You don't have to cut it to get to the cork to take it out. And it was literal seconds to heat shrink the bottle like that, and it looks a lot nicer. So I'll just write what my wine is on here, and these will just go right into the wine rack. Alright, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to bring you back for some a wrap up and maybe some other tips that I thought of while I was doing a lot of things here, and we'll see you back then. Alright guys, well there you have it. 2 wines bottled. My wine rack is filled back up. Happy about that, and we should have some good wine to drink for quite a while now. Some things we probably want to rehash. Flip top bottles, awesome for bottling. Putting spigots on your fermenting containers, time saver. If you're going to cork your bottles and reuse bottles of wine, try the large ones. Reduces the amount of corking you have to do, because you're essentially doing 2 bottles at once with a large bottle. So that's always a tip. You know, just try to make your life as easy as possible when you do this, because it's supposed to be fun, right? It's not supposed to be tedious. I mean, the harder it is, the less likely you're going to want to do it over and over again. So if it's fun, you keep doing it. But anyways, so yeah, the next probably next brewing series coming up, I may do some beers, maybe some more wine. I need to do a port, which is an interesting wine, and you might want to check that one out. But I think I'm going to do a port wine coming up here, and some other great content. But well, at least in my opinion, anyway. So you guys keep coming back, and like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.